Hello there, it is Toad Peregrine 4 here, or Jacob, with a video just showing you some of the stuff I've been working on the server. I've been playing a lot more in the past few days, about the past, I don't know, week and a half or so. The day I'm recording this is January 6th. I'm not sure when this is going to go up on my channel. Because I am at home over winter break, which means that I have really terrible internet. Now, one thing that I've done is I built a Christmas tree. Ben and I did that. Ben and I did this on the 24th, I believe. Actually wasn't that hard to do. We had a lot of the wood and leaves already. Between the two of us, we almost had everything we needed. We needed to chop down a few more trees, but anyway. So this is in town, of course, and I was keeping all my stuff in a array of chests over here, and it was just really an eyesore. And at one point, Ben and I, everyone's mentioned to it at some point that it's not really a house. So, I've been watching, or I've really gotten into Lord of the Rings recently. I intend on reading all of the books associated with it, the Silmarillion, the Hobbit, and all three Lord of the Rings books. So, that's what this was inspired by. Just a Hobbit's house, pretty much. So, we walk in, you have a room, most of the room's empty so far. I still need to decorate the interior. I've got a nice outlook onto the ocean. Also, in these rooms, I have these little like shelf things that I can display stuff on, which I really like, which I'm going to put stuff on just to sort of break up the rooms, make them identifiable. Got a storage room here, just a real basic storage room, got all sorts of stuff. Since I've moved so much stuff into the castle I'm working on, I didn't have to store my stuff in such a wide array. Like, I didn't. How many chests did I have before? I had. Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 24 times 3 is 72 times 244. Yeah, I had 144 chests, or 72 double chests. And I pretty much have all of my things divvied up, and almost everything's in this room that I keep in town, at least. Got a few stuff in this room here. This is going to be like my armory, I guess. Got a couple of anvils, some diamond armor, I don't really like diamond armor, I like iron armor, so I usually stick with that. But here's actually a sword that I like sharpness, looting, and unbreaking on my sword. Nothing else. And this sword is everything I hate. Smite 5, Fire Aspect 2, Knockback 2. Now, that said, with the exception of the Wither, everything that is benefited by Smite, this can kill in one hit. Because of the Smite 5. Like zombie pigmen, zombies, and wither skeletons, you do have to get a crit, or use a strength potion, but this sword will still do a one-hit kill. yeah, I had a Smite 4 sword lying around after doing some enchanting. And I'm actually selling this for 4 diamonds. But here's my bedroom. It's got a couple more chests, which currently just has valuables in it. Oh, and I'm keeping potions in here because those take up quite a bit of space. I wish potions stacked. I don't know what they should stack to, maybe 4? But, I mean, you don't want them stacking too high because then people could just be like sitting there constantly drinking them over and over, and it wouldn't be pretty. But in here I have sort of a dining room. Ben actually suggested I put carpet on the heads of these pistons, which I didn't think you could do, but it does make it look a lot nicer than, yeah, that. So, yeah, I had no idea. In here I have my brewing, like pretty much my brewing and other stuff. Food. Whenever I get pranked, it's always a chickening. And this is the stuff I've built up from all the times I've been chickened. This is the stuff from a sea monument, or a shoe monument, and this is just a bunch of arrows I have. Got an auto furnace, and a bunch of netherrack, and this is actually kind of cool. This is a potion brewer, an automatic potion brewer. So all I do is I get the stuff I want to potion up. So I want a regen potion, a highly effective regen potion. So what I do is I just look in this hopper, load it up, then hit this button, and you see it's going off in brewing. And as it uses ingredients, like once this nether wart is consumed, this gas tier will feed down and go into there. And the potions dump into here. And the water bottles are fed from here. Which, unfortunately, I mean, it's not a huge reservoir of water bottles, but for something that fits so small. Now, the way that this works, with just the button press to cycle in potions, this is coming from the button, and this little circuit here regulates it. So of the 2 hoppers that are there that actually feed, like this feeds in water bottles, this feeds out completed potions, you have to have only one of these. Like, if this is open and this is open, potions will flow through, and you'll get water bottles unbrewed in here. So pretty much you need, if this is feeding water bottles, which right now, since this is unpowered, this can feed water bottles, you need this to be locked, so that way they don't go through. But you also need it so these are held while you're brewing, if that makes sense. It's like this one's locked at the same time the other one is unlocked. If one's locked, the other is unlocked, always. And I have to have a repeater on both, because this torch adds a tick, this adds a tick, so I need to have this adding 2 ticks. This actually doesn't benefit. I should remove this. This just slows it down. Occasionally a potion will get caught in the hopper, and I tried using that repeater to fix it, but it doesn't for some reason. But I mean, that's pretty much my house. It's very basic. Took a long time to build. I didn't use a circle plotter or anything, so I mean, these aren't perfect circles. They might be, they're probably too square, if anything. However, to build such a, I mean, that it's a really large house. It doesn't feel large, but I mean, I had to do a lot of terraforming and building up of this hill. Like before, the hill pretty much dropped off about here along this line, which, as it turns out, actually this entire ridge is artificial. When the server was in its first days, we leveled off this part of the mountain, built it out to make for this farm, in which there was a really sharp hill right at about here, and there was another hill over there, and to sort of enclose this area, I built up this ridge. So, yeah, everything about this ridge here is artificial. Now, let me just grab some food real quick. It's kind of, because I pretty much have 2 rooms that are completely non-functional. It takes quite a while to actually get to the room where I do stuff, which I plan on doing stuff in this room. I just don't know exactly what yet. But I really like that. So now I need to put more torches around in town. Ben came on and actually rebuilt his house. If you go on to my earlier videos, you should be able to see his old house. It was sort of just really plain, and he decided to rebuild it. I guess it's pretty cool. He's always had this room. Why is there always seems... Oh, that's plugging a hole. There always seems to be something wrong with that glass under the lake, but... Anyway. Alright, on to the next thing I have done. Oops. Wrong turn. Over at the subway, which I don't recall if I've shown this or not. This is just sort of entrance to our nether hub, which I need to redo how this car looks. I don't like it, but I do need to get around to doing that. I actually built a proper nether path, just as everyone's sort of expanding out and doing a few more things. Decided to go ahead and build another hub just to minimize those trips, make them a lot quicker. I use prismarine lamps. I wanted this to look as little like the nether as possible, which if you look over long distances, there's sort of a red hue that accumulates, and I thought I could sort of minimize that by making everything sort of gray and blue and light colors. I do need to put more blue in this, but for now it's fine. Now you can get to the Battle Den, which is a project we're working on, to my castle, to Ben's castle, which, a weird thing, actually. Let me just hop on over there. For whatever reason, the fact that this is Ben's right there, doesn't render for Ben. I have no idea why. Like, he's relogged and everything, and I can't explain it. Doesn't make any sense, but what can you do? So I built this nether path, nether hub, just to sort of shrink the world, makes you don't have to run 10 minutes, because what's happened a couple of times is I'll be working on my castle, and then I'll be working on his. This isn't that my internet is at all. eventually it'll... Okay. I need to get these horses out of town. They're a little bit unsightly. I still haven't redesigned the mailroom yet. I need to. But this is my book for the sale. May have embellished a little bit. If you feel like reading it, just go back and pause the video on each page. Yeah, we did. Ben and I were on doing a little bit of planning for the town. But something I found whilst caving is a zombie spawner, which I already have a grinder a little bit over there. There, you can see it right there. That's the pipe for the water drop. But I mean, it's a little out the way. It's not hard. I mean, it's not far to get to. But I did find one that was closer, and I was gonna make a grinder out of it. Just one that's a lot nicer, a lot more redstone full. Because that's my favorite thing to do, is take things that can be really simple and make them really fancy, and I found one. And after hollowing this thing out, zombies kept on spawning. Because there was another one. And I'm not sure how clear this is, but they are exactly lined up on the same line, everything. It's crazy. I've never seen one that close together. But right now it's completely off. They're actually a little bit too close together. I had to do some shenanigans with the water to get it to flow right. But I really want this to be a very high efficiency spawner, and with lots of cool gizmos and stuff. So part of its efficiency is the fact that the water tunnel that brings it up doesn't have to bring it up very far, reducing the amount of time between them spawning and them dropping, which I minimize that time by putting the room beneath the spawners. So this is the room here. This is just my little setup, my temporary setup. Because I'm using water streams, I'd have to filter out baby zombies, which I do by dropping them on cactus. And I plan on having a couple of things in here. One is I plan on having, like, keeping anvils stocked constantly, which I believe the way it works out, because anvils break randomly, the way it works out is you get, I want to say, a little over 30 uses from an anvil. So, per using the anvil, you pretty much use one iron. About every time you use an anvil, you're using an iron, because you get a little over 30 uses, and it costs 31 iron. So unlimited access to anvils in here, and then I want to have, I think, 3 shops, 3 things that you can purchase. First thing you can purchase is a block of lapis for 1 iron. Then you can purchase 3 books for 1 iron, and then you can purchase 1 splash potion of healing for 1 iron. And I'm going to have signs with information for how long you need to wait here to get certain amounts of levels. Like, I'm going to test it out and get an average. Like, if you want to go from level 0 to level 30, I'll say AFK for an hour, and then kill all the zombies, and that should get you to level 30. Now, once you're up to level, once you're up to level 36, okay, if you kill all the zombies and get to level 36, and then you buy a lapis block, buy a book, or buy 3 books, then you can do 3 level 30 enchants. Alright. So then, after doing 3 level 30 enchants, the first enchant brings you from 36 to 33, second from 33 to 30, third from 30 to 27. Now, what you do then is you buy another splash potion for an iron, another 3 books, and another block of lapis. And then you look at the chart to go from 27 to 36 takes half an hour, or whatever it is. I haven't figured that out yet with 2 spawners. Then in that amount of time, you come and you throw the potion, and for every 3 iron, you get 3 level 30 enchants, is the way it'll end up working out. So every good enchant costs you an iron, which I think is a pretty good deal. I mean, that's not bad at all, especially considering zombies drop iron anyway. So past that, so it's a little under 3 iron per enchant, and if you're directly enchanting tools, it's even cheaper. So it's under an average, on average, under 2 iron per enchant if you're enchanting tools directly. So I mean, that's not bad. But there are a couple of other problems with zombie grinding. You get a lot of leather, you get a lot of gold, and you get a lot of zombie flesh. Now, I'm going to have single chests on probably this wall where, you put all your leather in this chest, all your gold in this chest, all your rotten flesh in this chest, and all the leather drains out of that chest and goes into like a large bank of leather behind it. Same for gold, and the zombie flesh goes into a machine that automatically throws it into lava. So all that stuff will either be just taken off your hands or burnt. The gold and leather I want to hold on to. So Ryan, who's building the battle dome, giving him that leather and gold would be really beneficial, as far as having cheap, pretty much free armor, that it doesn't matter, like you don't have to farm cows to get leather, you don't have to use gold to get gold armor. So pretty mediocre armor, but cheap. You just have to grind levels. And there'll be another one for like other armor, so like very rarely they'll drop some chainmail, some iron, or possibly even like really broke gold diamond pieces, which I don't know, whoever's grinding might want to hold on to that, but yeah, there'll be a chest for that as well, but I doubt that'll get used much. On top of that, I mentioned the shops for books, lapis, and splash potions. I actually intend on having an automatic potion brewery that every minute and 1 second, approximately, it will make 3 splash potions, instant splash potions, until it runs out of resources, or storage space, which is just incredibly quick. Yeah, that's, and I'm probably going to have some sort of system where if the last chest gets completely full, then it stops the clock that's driving the whole thing, for the sake of not filling it up too much. But that's completely automatic, and will produce potions faster than you can actually grind and use them. So there's that. I'm probably going to put those on this wall. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have to figure that out. I might push this wall back one just to make it an odd number so I can keep it symmetrical with this top. But this here, this is something I've been working on. So sometimes you enchant some books and you don't want to use them right now. You just want to keep them for later, but, you know, more than one person using the same grinder, you don't want to get your books mixed up either. Or if you have armor or stuff that you just want to hold on to and repair over time, like when you have time to grind, you want some storage and you just want it to sort of be marked as yours. Well, in here I have 2 double chests and a small chest. Now, I have some keys as well, which I'm just calling them lockers because that's what they are. Now, I really like having tripwire hooks as keys because, I mean, they kind of look like keys in the first place. They're a little expensive to make. I mean, 1 iron, 1 plank, and 1 stick makes 2 of them, so it's not bad. But I really like keys because it's a lot simpler than using like a big pen computer or something. Like someone has to go, 0, 4, 8, 2, or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of redstone involved with programming each and every combination, and it takes up a lot more space. Whereas a key with hoppers, all you have to do is put it in a chest, give it a second, and boom, it opens up. And I guess if you wanted to, you could AFK in here, be completely safe. But I'm really proud of this in particular. I can real quick show you how this works. It's not the most compact redstone, and it's very similar to the mechanism that drives the mailroom. Same pieces, for lack of a better term, like the same logic as that, but with more advanced redstone. So first of all, right here, I've got 5 lockers. I have 5 item filters and just a line of hoppers dragging it over. So I mean that's very simple. I actually got really lucky with the way the bedrock fell. None of it was in the way of where redstone should go. I got really scared I was going to have to redesign this and figure out how to, well, I mean, it wouldn't have been that hard. I would have had to put this chest up 1 block, but I much prefer being on the ground like it is. But, yeah, oh wow, okay. So somewhere in here it's dark enough for spiders to spawn. And then I have, just each one has a signal leading out of here, which I'm using vertical glowstone wire to achieve that efficiently. Matter of fact, this one probably doesn't need to be glowstone, but whatever. So it's going up here. For me to get up there, I have to do this. So I mean, that's very basic there. This is just stacked wire. So beneath these blocks there's wire. Beneath this block here there's wire. It's very basic stuff. And for the first one, which is locker number 5, I think. Whatever that one is. Has to travel all the way down to these hoppers, and then that signal goes the shortest amount of distance. That sort of, I mean, physically it worked out best, and that was the way I sort of balanced, like, this redstone has to go the shortest amount of distance, but it has to go through the most amount of hoppers. So, there's that. But these are my T flip-flops here. I wanted a better T flip-flop than the 2 hopper method, which I've always used. This is much, much better. Everything about this is better. Just in every way. There's a way to do this that doesn't require a piston, that just requires another repeater and another redstone torch that makes it completely pistonless. So if I ever need, I should never have to do the 2 piston setup again. But I mean, that's the T flip-flop there, which just pushes this redstone block up and down. Like you can see that these they quickly pulse quick enough to where it leaves the redstone behind, and powering this, which keeps the pistons retracted, and then if it pulls it up, then the pistons extend, like in this case. See, those pistons are extended. So pretty basic, but actually getting it to work this compactly was difficult, and I don't know. I really like how this turned out. Working so close to bedrock kind of made me nervous, but yeah, for this grinder, I have lots of hopes and dreams for it. So far, I really like how it looks with the dark oak and stone brick. I'm probably going to stick with that. Might swap these out for redstone lamps. Now, because I'm going to have unlimited anvils, or at least I'm probably keep 10 or so in here, just constantly. And I'll probably ask a couple other guys on the server. If I keep the anvil stocked, though, I'm going to charge an iron block access into here. Simply for the fact that it's... Since... If you do 9 enchants, then... Or if you use the anvil 9 times, you have more than paid for the anvil. So... you have more than paid for the iron block to get in here. So, since you get about 30 uses, a little over 30 uses, and this costs 31 iron, if you use it 9 times, you've broken even on iron. And I'm sort of relying on average, people probably using the anvil 9 times. But I'll ask the other guys on the server, and if they would prefer just to bring their own anvil, then I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to have a door fee. But as long as I'm providing unlimited anvils, I have to do that so I'm not constantly losing iron to this grinder, which I've already put a ton of resources in. I plan on putting a ton more, but I mean, as long as they don't come in here to, use the anvil once or get one more level or anything like that, paying an iron block entry is not that bad. So pretty much everything in here, if you just come in with a a pocket full of iron, you are good to go. Everything else will be provided. Levels, books, anvils, lapis, splash potions. Which, I mean, if they don't want to use splash potions, they just want to punch the zombies to death, they will be extremely weak. I believe it takes two to kill them with the way it's going to drop them. Any further, and they will begin to die on impact. I have it dropping them as far as possible. So, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I wrapped the entire spawner room in prismarine because I had a ton of it, for one, because it's ugly, for two, and because I don't want anyone to be caving or mining or doing any of that stuff and accidentally break into the grinder. I mean, they should, stop once they break in, but if they run into some prismarine, they definitely won't continue. The fact that there's two spawners lined up like that still blows my mind. Also, bunnies have been spawning randomly in this area. But I still have not gotten around to redesigning this. As you may have noticed, the other system that I have in there is a lot faster. However, the redstone is a lot uglier. I'm probably going to keep the face of this exactly the same, but run wires like I did down there, which, because of the room, isn't you see how large it is, isn't exactly the best option. However, if I keep it using minecarts, which I'm not exactly against, I could avoid all that complicated wiring of, you saw how much work I had to do to sort of separate out each strain. I could put each item filter in front of the chest it controls, put new T flip-flops in, because as you can see, these are the 2-piston T flip-flops. Put new T flip-flops in that are a lot faster and quieter, and just have the minecart go straight across rather than doing the loop it does, which slows it down a ton. I mean, it's almost, that really slows it down. Going up slows it down. I mean, if it just had to go straight across, it would be a ton faster. So I need to get around to doing that. It's not that hard, I just need to do it. Probably take me an hour or two to completely update it. What else? I'm trying to think if anything else has changed. Oh, the Battle Dome. I don't think I've introduced that project yet. So the Battle Dome is Ryan's idea, which I believe he's been feeling sick these past few days, and the new semester for him is actually about to start. He's got a week, and I've got about 2.5 weeks. But on the server, the world that we played years ago, it's been about 1.5 years since that world is closed. Maybe 2 years, something like that. But I had built an arena on there. What's happening? I spent a lot of time on it. It was a lot of fun to play on, but it took a ton of work. and I didn't want to do it again. So, but that was an arena. I chose a good area geographically for it that I really liked, and just probably spent a month of working on it on and off. What is happening? I'll probably do a world tour eventually. I really like that world, and it's never been on the channel, so. Whoa. How is this possible? Huh. But Ryan's working on the new arena, which is going to be the Battle Dome. And he is building a glass sphere with diameter 201, which means it starts down here and will pretty much go to build limit. An absolutely enormous sphere. In the bottom half, which is going to be underground, he is going to build a labyrinth for us to battle in. And then he's going to fill the bottom half, with the exception of what parts of the labyrinth, with smooth stone. And then on top of that, on the top half, he's going to build the arena with structures and stuff that we're fighting in, which is an absolutely mind-bogglingly large project. Just absolutely insane. Matter of fact, to build a glass sphere that large, Ryan has done the calculations. I don't recall how much sand it takes, but this desert has gotten decimated. And with the sandstone, we've flattened it out. Like if I dig down, yeah. Just a ton of sand has been removed, and it's actually still smelting. It's enough smelting to where it really needs to be AFK'd, but I don't know if someone threw these or if they hatched or what the deal is, but yeah, this desert has seen better days for sure. And this is the machine I have constructed to smelt this sand, which hopefully isn't getting full. Oh wow, it is getting full. I don't know if there's any more sand that needs to be smelted, but it won't really fit in here now, will it? Oh wow, is this done? How is this one done? With more coal than the others. Put the same amount in all of it. I don't know what's up with that, but yeah, just an enormous amount of sand being smelted here. Ryan has a ton more somewhere else. I'm not entirely sure where exactly. Actually, I think I do know where. I think it's... I'll show you what that is. Let me just hop on over there, but we've mined a ton of sand. I want to say we used probably near 100 iron shovels on that sand. I'm just guessing. I mean, we did it over the course of a few days. But I reminded Ryan at one point that you could make smooth stone by pouring lava over still water, and until then he was going to fill it up with smooth stone that he had smelted. But since you can just use lava and water, I'm going to do that instead. Yeah, he was going to fill every single one of these chests up with smooth stone. And that was the amount of smooth stone that he was going to use. He actually got quite far. I mean, he obviously didn't finish it, but he still has a ton of glass. Just so much. This Battle Dome is probably going to be the most expensive project that I have ever witnessed construction on. I mean, I did big projects on the old server, which I will show you and do a world tour of that, but nothing as big as the Battle Dome. Not ever. Just, that's a ridiculously large project. But that's all I really have for this video. This is just sort of a update and what I'm working on. Crash Landing will be back, but it will only be back once I've gotten back to campus and well, not to campus, I don't live on campus, but once I've gotten back to my apartment, which should be in just a few days, and actually have access to fast internet. It's just too slow here. I can't handle it. I started uploading the Coal Chronicles, is what I'm calling it. It's just sort of a mini-series that I'm curious what you guys think of it. If you enjoy the series, it's just Ryan, Ben, and I talking, discussing different things. We were just hanging out, and I decided to start recording our conversation because I thought it was interesting, and thought you guys might like it. But tell me what you guys think of that. Hopefully it's being enjoyed. I really apologize for the cuts in it due to the 10-minute recording cap, but I'm actually going to purchase probably Fraps or Bandicam, I'm not sure which. I like how Bandicam works, so I might stick with it over Fraps. I wish I could get Shadow Play to record my desktop for me. It's not for some reason. I mean, technically my GPU isn't supported for Shadow Play, but I can get it to work on full screen games that use like DirectX or anything like that. And it'll record that, but it won't do desktop recording, because I had to and I use it slightly, sort of hack it to get it to work on most games, but it won't do desktop. So I have to use Bandicam or Fraps, but actually I am going to go ahead and purchase them just so I don't have to worry with it anymore. But anyway, that's all I have for this video. I should start uploading this in a little bit. I've been uploading just as I go to sleep, just so it affects me the least as far as bandwidth. Because if I'm uploading, I can't do anything else really. YouTube will just constantly buffer. Netflix will hardly even load. Uploading takes up almost all of the bandwidth. But anyway, really appreciate your watching. Let me know about the Coal Chronicles below. Crash Landing will be back, and I will talk to you next time. Thank you for watching.